So I'm sure you've wondered, what is the best racket on the market? Of course, nothing but the best for you. Well, I'm here to tell you I've found the best racket on the market. It's the Head Extreme Tour. So on paper, the Head Extreme is like the world's most boring racket. The specs are all middle of the road, 98 square inch racket, 16 by 19, la 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 la, the list goes on. It's also part of a completely unloved and disrespected racket line, the Head Extreme. I have never liked a single Head Extreme racket I've tried until I tried this one. And that's why I'm going to tell you why the Head Extreme Tour may be the most underrated racket on the market. So let's jump into our scores to figure out why. So first up, we've got potential energy. Now this is the biggest area of complaint for this racket that I hear from other users. They say it's low powered, it doesn't have a lot of plow through, and they're right. It's only got a 318 swing weight, so you're just not going to get a lot of ball speed out of this, and you're not going to get that much topspin when compared to something with a higher potential energy. That said, it does line up with a lot of rackets that other people do get success out of. So the potential energy here is 112 compared to the Wilson Blade 109, up a little bit, the Pro Staff 97 at 110, and then finally a total power monster, the Pure Strike 100 at 113. So I think this completely moderate score is totally addressable with lead tape, and we'll save that a little bit for later. So the next thing to talk about is the string bed performance. Now this is a really interesting area because the Extreme line is marketed completely around spin. So you'd expect something extremely open, but that is completely not the case. Yes, it is a 16 by 19, but it's a lot tighter of a 16 by 19, more along the lines of like a Radical Pro. This gives really predictable response out of the string bed, meaning that you get a lot of confidence to swing really fast and swing really big. And that is what that moderate swing weight kind of allows. It allows for a lot of acceleration through the ball. That said, I think there's something funny about the beam design on the Head Extreme Tour. I feel like I can get immense spin out of this racket when compared to rackets with similar string beds. In terms of spin potential, I think the Head Extreme Tour completely dominates the Radical Pro. It dominates the EZO 98, and it's up there with some of the most spin-friendly rackets I've used. To get the combination of an incredibly spin-friendly string bed while retaining great predictability on impact is super rare. Other rackets I've tried that had that were like older Aero Pro drives and VCore 95 from 2018, as well as the SV 95. I think it's pretty rare to find something that you can access huge spin but still give great control. So the string bed performance here is going to get a 97, pretty low. A little bit more control is the Head Radical Pro, and then up from there we've got like the RF 97, and a little bit more unpredictable but still pretty good is the Gravity MP. And the last category here is weight distribution, and I think here there's some more magic at play. This is one of the fastest rackets through the air that you can buy, especially at that 305 gram weight. In the previous review, I commended the Blade 98 V8 for having great maneuverability, but honestly it does not feel the same as the Extreme Tour. The Extreme Tour feels super fast through the air, and I think this is one of the areas that really lends itself to that spin production. It encourages you to swing quickly and brush up the back of that ball with a lot of racket head speed, and I think that's a huge winning point. So the weight distribution here is scoring again with a bunch of pretty fast feeling rackets. So we've got the Head Extreme Tour at 104, the little brother, the Extreme MP at 103, the Radical MP at 108, and then the Pure Drive at 110. A really unique story of speed here. Now the last thing, and I think the most important factor that a lot of people don't talk about, is how great the feel in the Extreme Tour is. The Extreme line has been relatively horrible in terms of feel. Jarring, off-center, tinny, hollow feeling, all things we all hate. I think the biggest competitor to the Head Extreme Tour and the racket that dominates the 98 space is the EZO 98. But my problem with that racket is how muted it can feel. Off-center shots, it feels muted. On the string bed, it feels muted. And there's times where you just kind of get lost in how plush and muted that racket has become for the sake of comfort. The Head Extreme Tour is not like that. It's more like an old school racket. It communicates to you throughout the string bed. If you hit it off-center, it lets you know. I wouldn't say it's jarring or painful, but it's communicative, it's responsive, and that's something I really like. That mid 65 stiffness gives you a lot of information. It's not so stiff that it feels jarring, and it's not too soft to where you don't get any feedback. It's not like a Prince Phantom or a Clash where it can feel muddy at times and you don't exactly know what's going to happen on the other end of your impact. So I think that's where the Head Extreme Tour really stands out. It's not about the specs, it's not even about my scores, it's about how amazing it feels on impact. Those specs let you do so much with the racket. If you're a more advanced player, you can add weight any way you want. If you need more stability, go for it. If you just want swing weight, like that's pretty much my only problem with this frame, I'm fine with the torsional stability. You can add weight to it. And that's why I think the Extreme Tour is the best racket on the market. It's not focusing on specs. It's not focusing on marketing jargon and blah blah blah. Who cares about C2 pure feel? It focuses on impact feel. It feels amazing. Now if you love your racket the way that I love my Extreme Tour, but you think you might be able to get more out of that frame, don't get tempted by new rackets. Watch this video instead. Have you ever been in this place where it just feels like your tennis racket is letting you down on every other shot? Well, I've been there, and so has Rafa, Roger, and Novak. So in today's video, we're going to take a look at how you can get the most out of your tennis racket.